What's going on, guys? Coach Ian here from Legacy Endurance, helping you run further, faster, and more focused. And this week we are talking about breathing. Now, I know I talked to you before about it, and I'm going to link up right up here a video I shared a few months back about how to breathe when you run. And this is a question I get quite a bit. So what I'm going to show you today and demonstrate for you is what I call an odd breathing pattern. Now, it's not odd, strange. It's odd in the count. And so two things I'm going to teach you is the benefits of counting your steps while you're running. Helps you to sort of stay focused and control your breathing, not let your breath get way out of control. And that's something that sometimes happens when we start to really get working or running longer. We start to get anxious. We start to lose some of that oxygen building up, and so we start to breathe a little heavier. So counting your steps is a great way to help to sort of relax, keep your body calm, don't let yourself get too far ahead of yourself. And then the other benefit of counting your steps, and what I'm going to show you in an odd breathing pattern, is evening out the stress load on your body. When you are landing the ground, when your foot is hitting the ground during the stride, you're at your most vulnerable point, and you take the most impact when you're striking the ground. So if you are always exhaling on the same point, on the same side, you're putting the most amount of stress on that same side. So for a lot of us, a lot of times we're always exhaling on the same side, and you may or may not notice that. So when we use an odd breathing pattern, what happens is we're actually exhaling on the opposite foot each time, and that helps to even out the stress load on your legs, on your body. So when you take the counting into effect and you take sort of evening out the exhales, that really helps to be as efficient as possible, helps to balance out the stress. It's a great technique. I love it in race situations because sometimes just counting gives your mind something to do when you're suffering. Even in an easy run, it helps to keep you under control and not get too fast. And so lots of reasons why we want to use a breathing pattern and think about it. So what I'm going to teach you is why it's called an odd breathing pattern is because the steps should always add up to an odd number. And I'll give you two different examples of what I use sometimes, and I use either a 4-1 or a 4-3. So for example, in a 4-1 breathing pattern, you would breathe in for 4 steps and you'd exhale for 1 step. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So what's going to happen is you're always going to be exhaling on the opposite foot. So for example, if I was doing a 4-1, it would be inhaling, I'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, exhale 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1. So you saw the first time exhale was on the right side, second time was on the left side. So you're always going to be landing on that opposite foot when you're using that odd pattern. So a 4-1 is a good breathing pattern that I find if I'm doing a tempo run where it's a little bit more intense, you're really trying to get that oxygen going, you're maybe a little bit short on breath. I like using a 4-1 pattern, or you can use a 4-3 pattern, adds up to 7. It's a little bit more control. I like using it on an easy run. It helps to stay calm. So it'll be, for example, 4 in, be 1, 2, 3, 4 in, and then exhale for 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm start on that one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and so you see I landed on the start of the exhale on the left side. So you're alternating both sides. So I want you to practice that this week. Even if you don't count that, just think about, be aware of which foot are you exhaling on. When you're landing, is it always the same foot? Can you find a pattern that alternates between the right side and the left side? So that really helps. I'm going to link up below as well for you a book called Running on Air by Bud Coates. It's a great resource. It's some of the techniques that will be explained that I'm showing you here. You can read in the book. It goes into a lot more science behind it and the details. So this week, try it out. I'm going to run it out here for you, show it to you in action. Try not to die by breathing too heavy. So have a great week running. I'll demonstrate this, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Alright guys, so I'm going to demonstrate for you the 4-1 and the 4-3 just so you get a sense of what that looks like. Now of course I'm talking as I'm trying to run, so it's going to be hard to show you how I'm breathing, but I'll count my steps out and I'll point to the side that I'm exhaling on so you get a sense of that. So in a 4-1, if I started counting off my right foot, inhaling for 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. So you see how that's going back and forth. Counts to 5. So on a 4-3 pattern, same thing. I'm inhaling for 4, exhaling for 3, controlling my breath. So it'd be starting on the right again. It'd be in, out, 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 in, out, 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 in, out. Whew, out of breath already. So you see though, I'm going back and forth, side to side. So give that a try. If anything, be aware of which foot you're landing on when you're exhaling. Practice counting give that a try. Have a great week. Happy running. Talk to you soon.